Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. My name is Jonathan and this is Talking NBA. As you see, I got me a face cam set up. Yeah, I got me a little GoPro 8. I'm going to use the face cam for today. But happy Tuesday, happy NBA Start Tuesday, baby! Happy NBA Start Tuesday! Who ready for some basketball? I know I am. I'm excited. I'm excited for this season. Even though my team has one of the most dramas, the Brooklyn Nets. I just did this. I want to shout out my New York Giants. I am a New York Giants fan. 5-1, baby. Nobody expected it. Hey, I'm here for it. But anyway, let's get back to this video. Today, I'm going to go ahead and give out my awards predictions. Who I think is going to win the MVP, DPOY, this is a Defensive Player of the Year, the Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, Sixth Man, and MIP, Most Improved Player. I'm going to do top 5 in each category. And I'm going to go ahead and start off with the Rookie of the Year. So I'm going to go from 5 to 1 on each of them. So my number 5 is going to be Ochai Agbaji of the Utah Jazz. He just got traded from Cleveland to Utah in the Donovan Mitchell trade. And, Utah is trying to tank. Let's be honest with you. So if Ochai can come out there, be a number 2 or 3 option, because, eventually Mike Conley probably will be moved. Bojan already got moved, and Jordan Clarkson will probably get moved as well. So ain't nobody, only Colin Sexton, Lauri Markkanen, players like that. But Ochai is going to put up some numbers. I can already see it. So he's going to be top 5 in Rookie of the Year for me. Number 4 is going to be Jabari Smith Jr. of the Houston Rockets. I feel like Jabari should settle in nicely there, but I think Jalen Green has another thing to prove. So it's going to take away a little bit of touches from Jabari Smith Jr. And the other 3 players I feel like will have a little bit more touches, even though this next person does have 2 teammates that are definitely going to be in front of him. But I just feel like Jabari is going to be a nice little 3-and-D guy. And he's going to put up some nice little numbers, but I just don't think he's going to be actually winning the Rookie of the Year, but he'll have a little nominee shout. Number 3 is going to be Keegan Murray. Keegan Murray's been looking nice. That's all I got to say. The 2 players in front of him, of course, we know is Sabonis and De'Aaron Fox. The Ox and the Fox is apparently what they're going to be called. I do like that name. That is a funny name, but Keegan Murray is he came out in summer league, he came out in preseason, he showed that maybe he can help their team push to a play-in spot. I don't think they will because it's a top 10 in the Western Conference is pretty nice, but who knows? My number 2 is going to be Jaden Ivey. Man, the Detroit Pistons are my favorite rebuild. My favorite. He's going to fit in there right in between Cade and Sadiq Bey. Cade's going to be the superstar. Jaden Ivey's going to come in. Jaden Ivey's going to come in splash. They're going to be fighting the Knicks for that last playing spot, but ultimately I think it's going to be the Knicks just because they have players that have been there, done that already. But Jaden Ivey's going to be electric, and the Pistons are going to be electric. Number 1, got to give it to Paolo. They got a lot, and I mean a lot of stuff, people, places in Orlando. They are deep, but to me, they don't have that number 1. They were hoping Jalen Suggs could be it, but Jalen Suggs didn't really get off on that right foot. So, but sometimes it does take point guards a few years to actually develop. So, maybe it will be Jalen Suggs, but I feel like they're going to give that opportunity to Paolo. Paolo is going to score, and Paolo can get 20. I can see him getting 20, but now I'll say he'll probably have more like 17 this year, but it's going to be enough. It is definitely going to be enough to win Rookie of the Year. All right, now we're going to go to MIP. And my MIP is going to be Anthony Edwards. The only reason why Anthony Edwards is on the list for me is because of what Ja did last year. How he went from that star to that superstar talent. And I can see that projection happening to Anthony Edwards. It's just that they also have Cat, D'Lo, and now Rudy on the team. Rudy Gobert on the team. And I know Rudy's not going to take any offensive touches away from Anthony Edwards, but I just don't think that Anthony Edwards is going to go from the level that Ja jumped last year. Number 4 is going to be Franz Wagner. So again, we just talked about the Magic, Paolo. They also have Franz Wagner on that team. And Franz has been looking nice, whether it be Euroball, preseason, whatever it is. Franz has got my vote. But it's just going to be, I feel like there's 3 other people up on the list that could be a little bit better than Franz this year. My number 3, maybe a little bit of a hot take, but Talen Horton-Tucker. Again, it's the Utah Jazz. It's not like there's much options going on in Utah, but I just feel like, with a new scenery, don't have to win, just let it flow. I feel like Talen Horton-Tucker is going to show that, he can be maybe like a third or fourth option on the team, and which will be enough for MIP. Number 2, the Atlanta Hawks' own DeAndre Hunter. I do like DeAndre Hunter as a player, as a 3-and-D player. With DeJounte Murray now on the team, there's going to be 2 people that can pass him the ball. Just zip it right to him in the corner, zip it right to him on the wing, wherever DeAndre Hunter's standing. I just feel like DeAndre Hunter's numbers, and this year he's going to play relatively injury-free. DeAndre Hunter is going to be very, he's going to be lockdown 3-and-D. He's just going to show that he's going to be their number 3 and number 4 option behind John Collins as well. And my number 1 is going to be Devin Vassell. So it's the same as THT, except Devin Vassell is like a third-year player in this case. Devin Vassell is on the Spurs. There's a lot of people that you could have picked for MIP over there. That could have been Josh Primo, Keldon Johnson, but I'm going with Devin Vassell. I think Devin Vassell is going to show just a slight bit more to his game than Keldon or Josh Primo this year. All right, next we're going to go with 6th man of the year. And my 6th man of the year, my 6th man is going to be weird because my last 2 spots, which you're about to find out now, I'm going with more of the team than individual player. Just because I don't know who's going to be starting or what at the end of the season. I know what we're hearing from the beginning, but so my first option is going to be, my number 5 is going to be Seth Curry and Joe Harris. With Royce O'Neal now on the team, there's a possibility that they go for more defense or they could go for more shooting. But both of them are not starting. We know both of them are not starting. So to me, either Seth or Joe is going to come off the bench, and that's going to be a flamethrower on the bench you don't want to deal with. And it goes with my number 4 as well. It's going to be the Mavericks with Christian Wood and Spencer Dinwiddie. I feel like Christian Wood at the end of the year could be starting. So that's why I'm like, I don't think Christian Wood is going to actually be in the running for 6th man the whole year through. So that's why I'm also thinking of Spencer Dinwiddie, because he will be for the 6th man the whole way through. He will be. And once he got to Dallas last year, he showed that he can be a great 6th man. He's not going to cover Jalen Brunson's numbers, but as long as he can play that nice Jordan Clarkson 6th man role, I feel like Spencer Dinwiddie could win 6th man of the year. My number 3 is going to be Kevin Love. Everybody forgot about Kevin Love, didn't they? Huh? Nah, probably not. But Kevin Love's still on this Cleveland team. Man, this Cleveland team who they are not only a pretty good starting 5, but they have depth. Okay, because they got Kevin Love on the team still. They got Ricky Rubio. They got Karis LeVert. Like, what else are we talking about here? But I feel like Kevin Love is going to come out and be like a 15-8 guy, even though they still have rebounding on their starters in Jared Allen and Evan Mobley. But still, I just feel like he's going to be a 15-8 guy with really good efficiency, and he's going to help lead this team to a decent playoff position. My number 2 is going to be Tyler Hero. Now, at first, I didn't have Tyler Hero on the list just because, I thought maybe he would be starting. But then I thought, they have Duncan Robinson and Victor Oladipo, and something tells me that they might start it off with Duncan Robinson early in the season, but then Victor Oladipo is probably going to start starting towards the end of the year, to be honest with you. So I kept Tyler Hero, but I feel like there's one person ahead of him, the Golden State Warriors, Jordan Poole. I don't think Jordan Poole is going to be starting this year. I think that's still going to go to Klay Thompson. But I think Jordan Poole is going to show what Tyler Hero showed last year. It's going to be a fight between Jordan Poole and Tyler Hero really for the number 1 and 2 spots. But Jordan Poole ultimately is going to get the 6th man. All right, now we're going to go with Coach of the Year. This one I'm going to try to make it quick just because it's pretty much all by seedings, and same with MVP. That one's kind of going to go quick because there's not really that much hot takes. But my number 5 is going to be J.B. Bickerstaff of the Cleveland Cavaliers, as I said earlier with the Cavaliers with Kevin Love, and as I said on the last video I uploaded, the Cavs are going to have like a top 4 seed, and they're going to start off They're going to start off decently well, and they're going to start really catching fire at the end. So I feel like J.B. Bickerstaff will be my number 5 nominee in Coach of the Year. Doc Rivers, Philly's going to look good all year. I can already tell you. I believe I put Philly as my number 2 seed. Yes, I did. I put them as my number 2 seed. And I just feel like they're going to be hot all year with James Harden looking good, Joel Embiid really wanting his MVP. Doc Rivers is going to be my number 4 option. My number 3 option is going to be Joe Mazzulla. After the whole coaching incident with Ime Udoka, I just feel like Joe Mazzulla is going to come in here, and it's going to be the same. It's going to be the same. The Celtics are going to be a top 3 seed. They're going to be looking good. They're going to be looking destined to go back to the finals. So I'm going to give that to Joe Mazzulla in the number 3 spot. Number 2 is going to be Michael Malone. Denver's getting Jamal Murray back. Denver's getting Michael Porter Jr. back with Nikola Jokic, the 2-time MVP. Nothing much you could say about that. I feel like they're going to be the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. They're going to show their worth this year. My number 1 is going to be Willie Green. Willie Green is going. I have them as the 3rd seed right now. Willie Green is going to show this team. They're going to be fighting between 2, 3, 4 for the whole season, and they're just going to keep pounding and keep pounding and keep going until they get the number 3 seed, which a lot of people probably isn't looking at the Pelicans as the number 3 seed with how deep the Western Conference is. But I got Willie Green winning Coach of the Year this year. All right. Depoy, so Defensive Player of the Year. This is going to be going quick. There's only going to be one sort of hot take, but other than that, there's not really any hot takes. My number 5 is Rudy Gobert. He just joined the Minnesota Timberwolves, and I feel like he's going to really show his worth as he does in the regular season with his defensive presence. Let's be honest. That's all I have to say. My number 4 is Bam. I didn't really want to go up further with Bam just because it's like one of those things where it's like he could have won it 3 years ago, really, but it's just like it's just never up there really with Bam Adebayo. So I didn't put Bam, but I had to give him the number 4 option or 4 spot just because it's still Bam. It is still Bam, and he's still a great defender. My number 3. So last year Marcus Smart won it, so I'm going to give it to another guard, Drew Holiday. I feel like Drew Holiday can win it this year just because a lot of people a lot of NBA players be saying how Drew Holiday is the number 1 perimeter guard in all of the NBA. There's so much people that says Drew Holiday is the best perimeter defender. So why not give it to Drew Holiday as a number 3? It's just, again, he is a guard, so it's a little bit harder than bigs to get it. So that's why he is still my number 3. My number 2 is going to be Mikhail Bridges. Mikhail Bridges, day in and day out, is just the best defender on the Phoenix Suns. He won't stop being the best defender on the Phoenix Suns. And I just feel like this year could be the year that he gets it. It's just that, my number 1 is Giannis Antetokounmpo. So with Giannis being my number 1, Giannis actually winning Defensive Player of the Year this year, I just feel like the Milwaukee Bucks, because as you saw, Milwaukee Bucks was my number 1 team in the Eastern Conference in my rankings. So I just feel like they're just going to stay consistent. Giannis is going to stay consistent, especially in a Defensive Player of the Year category. MVP. Ain't no hot takes in MVP. I'm sorry, I couldn't come up with a hot take. My number 5 is Jason Tatum. After last year, after the way it started, it was a little rough, and then how it ended, how Jason Tatum started really becoming like that real superstar, started comparing to more of Luka, which I don't agree with whatsoever. But once you start hearing Jason Tatum and Luka, that means that Jason Tatum is doing something right. So he is my number 5 in nominee for MVP. My number 4 is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Again, it's just going to be that one of those steady things. It's just going to be one of those steady things where Giannis is going to play great enough to be 1st seed, but of course he has his team with him. My number 3, he's not quite getting it yet, but that's going to be Luka Doncic. I don't think he's quite going to be there quite yet, but he's going to still be fighting for the MVP until the last day of the season. But it's going to be hard because my number 2, back-to-back MVP already, in Nikola Jokic. He's getting Jabari Murray back, and he's getting Michael Porter Jr. back. I feel like this team's going to run away with the West. I feel like this team is going to be dominant. they're just going to be dominant. So I just feel like it's going to be one of those things where it's like they're not going to want to give it to him, but he might force their hands. He might force the voters' hands. All right, so I just couldn't take Nikola Jokic off the list. I couldn't do it. But my number one, he's finally going to get it, boys. He's finally going to pass Nikola. It's going to be Joel Embiid. Boys and girls. So Joel Embiid, I just feel like the Sixers, they're going to have the number 2 seed. Joel Embiid is going to be looking nice. James Harden's going to be feeding him. It's just going to be a well-oiled machine. I just feel like Joel Embiid will finally get his MVP this year. I just feel it. It's just a feeling that I have that Joel Embiid is going to be somewhere in the 31 range, 12 to 15 range, 3 to 4 assists. You know, he's not going to have that much assists because James Harden and Tyrese Maxey is on the team, so the playmaking is set. But I just feel like Joel Embiid is going to dominate this year. And there's nothing else that you're going to be able to do but give it to him. So that's my rankings. How do y'all think? What do y'all think about all of them? Rookie of the Year, MIP, Sixth Man. What would y'all change? Let me know down in the comments below. Tell me what you would change. I want to know. I actually want to know. Let's start this conversation. All right, but until next time, I'll see y'all later. And enjoy Tuesday. Enjoy the games. Peace.